GM degens, welcome back. GM Free Market.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am amazing. I just get so amped every time that music comes on now. I was worried that it was going to be a little bit too upbeat for a morning show, but fuck it. I'm in.
Gets the party going.
Gets the blood pumping. You know, and now I'm just, all I want to do is talk about JPEGs.
I want to talk about the 14 million % API I'm making on these flies right now.
Oh, what?
Buying more, baby.
Get out of here.
What do you mean get? What do you mean get out of here? It's a 14 million % APY right now.
That's sustainable. You will be a trillionaire in 3 days. That's great.
Yes. Who said it? But look.
No, I'm kidding.
These are creature tokens.
I have them too.
Sustainable. This is the definition of sustainable. This is longevity incarnate.
In a nutshell. This will save the planet. What a day yesterday. How are you feeling?
Amazing. I was up till 3 a.m. last night, but it was all Kokodi all the time, baby. We were waiting for raid party because you know how excited we are about this MMPORG LGBTQ that's dropping in the next day here. You know, right?
Perfect.
But when it was slightly delayed, and luckily we did get to mint ours before I went to bed. One of the projects you and I interviewed the other night, and we helped advise on, Kokodi, finally got some love and recognized for the great art that it is. And I just couldn't help watch as the various alpha rooms around the NFT space started to just mint that thing. Something furious.
Yeah, good for them. I'm very happy for them. It was a slow start. I know that a little bit of tension early on, but they got across the finish line, and I think they've got some exciting stuff that they're gonna show you as well. GM, look at all these people in here already. All 25 of you. Justin, haven't seen your name before. Maybe I missed it. Cass, GM, Lost Glitches, welcome back. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Pega, Bailey, Charles, Cass again, GM, Akon, Zug morning to you too, my friend. Small cup of coffee and we're off. Couldn't agree more, Mr. Sandman. Hologram is raving. He was a little uncomfortable about the music, but I think it's growing on him.
I was gonna quote the looks price, but I didn't want to like throw you off in Canada. I know we have 7 different quotes for rally this morning.
Is it? Yeah. I know. I had to liquidate some of my looks to make sure that I was able to participate in Raid Party and all of the other incredible stuff going on this week. But I promised myself I was going to pay it back, so we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, Drip GM. What else we got? Lemon Me Daddy. That's all you, Free Market. Shubs.
Lemon Me Daddy.
Hologram.
Lemon Leather Daddy.
Cambo's here. Love JT. Justin Timberlake.
He
Dugan.
He is.
We are on Twitch. Yes. Appreciate you showing up on Twitch there for us. Well. Kanye doesn't like NFTs. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I think if you read that again, it's quite the opposite of I don't like. It's literally Kanye West announcing an NFT collection in the future. Read it again.
Yes. Tell me you're not announcing an NFT collection without telling me you are announcing an NFT collection.
In classic style. In classic Kanye style. I mean, this guy is a media savant. He's a musical genius. And, I know he's shall we say, a bit eccentric, but at the same time.
And an avid Alpha Mint morning show watcher. Kanye, GM to you.
Every day. Yeah. We don't like to talk about it because, we don't like to brag. But yeah, Kanye listens every day. And shout out to Yeezy. Shout out to, I was going to say shout out to Kim, but that's a sore spot. I'm sorry, Yee. I get it, man.
All I saw on Instagram this morning was a fake Kim Kardashian tweet with Kanye and Pete Davidson making out, saying it's all good, guys.
And bro, and you know I love you, so I'm telling you this because I love you. But the harder you lean into it, the harder they're gonna go at it. You gotta ignore that shit. Don't even care. Who cares? She's with Pete Davidson. Please, every girl that's been with him has left the vet. It's one of these things. You fall into a Pete Davidson phase. Who hasn't been there? So just don't give it any attention.
Pete Davidson face. Leonardo DiCaprio also watches the GM show. I don't know which one the GM show is.
Yeah, Leo.
You got to get him into the A show, though.
What up, homie? You still owe me half that check from Saint-Tropez, but I'm not going to call you about it.
What a travesty that he won the Oscar for what was that movie? The Reva.
In the Woods with the Wolves?
Where the only thing he said for 2 hours was,
yeah, but don't you think that's an even like to actually express an entire movie's worth of dialogue with just grunts? This is acting in comedy.
It was just pure Oscar bait. Yeah. All right, let's get into crypto. We're getting sidetracked. Do the drum roll. GM, Alphamint, GM, to all of those tuning in on YouTube. It is Tuesday, February 1st, the first day of February, and I am your host, R2 Degen, joined with me, as always, by Free Market Capitalist.
Hey now.
I got a little twisted up with my intro there, but we kind of made it across the finish line. Yes, GM to everybody. What a day yesterday was. Holy crap. I mean, we thought the weekend was on fire. It just shows no sign of stopping anytime soon. And you know what? We sometimes talk about hitting those euphoria phases and whatnot. It kind of sometimes feels like that, but at the same time, there's some signs pointing to up only for a little bit with the NFTs. I mean, we talked about it decoupling. We talked about moving away from crypto and kind of superseding crypto, at least for the short term. And hey, maybe we're seeing that right now. But Free Market, how was your Monday? You were on a lot of spaces. You hosted an amazing interview, the first one I think with Star Catchers. That was really great. You and Maz crushed it. I think there was like 700 people listening at one point. You gave away some star list spots, and I had a great time listening.
Yeah, huge shout out to Maurice, Bublé, Allison, and the whole team over there. This is a project I've been excited about for a long time. DJ Bublé is the head mod at Lemons, and that is one of my favorite communities ever, and I spend a lot of time there. And when he announced he was the head mod on this project and I saw it, I mean, I was instantly drawn to it. I've been relatively obsessed with it since then, and it was so great to have them on the spaces to talk about the project, because everything I suspected was confirmed in a good way. One of the creators and co-founders, Maurice, was so well spoken and brilliant and really understands this space. And people always ask me, what do you look for in a project to know it's an investment versus a trade, or whether this is one of the ones that's going to last? And it comes down to the team, right? The ability to adapt, how dedicated they are, how passionate they are. What was the genesis story? And I won't go completely into it, but just when you hear how this project came about, it was so classic Web3. Everybody that I work with now, everybody I met through Web3. I met on the blockchain. We met in different communities. We feel often closer to each other than we do to the people that we're seeing on a daily basis. Not to demean, it just the genesis of this project came together basically in the Doodles Discord. And it was such a relatable story to me, because this is how so many of the projects and love came about, and it's very organic and it's very pure. And again, huge shout out to that team. We gave away 5 Starlist spots on that show. We gave a huge amount away to our Moon Lounge as well, and priority pass holders. And like I said, that project is bearing down on us in a few weeks here, and I could not be more bullish and more in love. So thank you again to the Star Catchers team. What a great spaces yesterday. You're muted, my friend.
if I wasn't excited about this project based on the art alone, which I was, the team completely has me sold. I mean, all of them were well spoken. They got it. They were excited to be sharing what they had. I mean, they were thrilled to be talking about it. And it just they just did an incredible job. And sometimes the word community gets thrown around. A little loosey goosey with some of these projects. You know, we have 200,000 people in our community that we just invited into Discord over the last day. This is not the case. They're doing a slow drip into their Discord. They're handling things properly, and they seem like a team that's well equipped to continue building on that. You know, one of the last ones we saw in this regard was Little Lemon Friends and Alien Friends were both really good examples of that as well. So I have some stuff pulled up to talk about them. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about what they said and where they're going, what their plans are later on in the show. But yeah. And for those of you asking, this was hosted on Twitter Spaces last night. We do a lot of stuff on Twitter as well. Maz and Free Market are Spaces experts. So make sure you follow them on Twitter and get in there whenever they're in one. What else did we have yesterday? I mean, Raid Party got delayed a little bit. Well, sorry, Raid Party minted at 10 o'clock, which was a little bit later than we thought it was going to be. Cool Pets got delayed several times, and the public sale isn't going live until 5 p.m. Eastern today for 24 hours. Is that right?
That would be the allow list sale.
Yes.
That will be going for 24 hours, as you said, starting today. In the afternoon, early evening, and then the public sale, which I believe is only allotted 1,900 pets at this point, will then be right after that 24-hour window closes.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, there's been a little bit of action on the secondary. I don't think that our over/under price predictions are going to hold true, especially with the launch dynamics being a little messed up. But we also got that queued up. Let's talk about crypto. Crypto's also doing pretty well right now. Going to pull up CoinGecko on my screen, take a quick look at it. Bitcoin about to hit 39,000. ETH, last time I checked, was over 2,800, slightly below right now, but we're seeing some big bounce backs. Solana and some of these other coins that got hit harder are also rebounding just as hard too. Solana up almost 20% in a day. We were talking about maybe some of those extra depressed prices being a buy time. And it seems to be holding true. Although we don't deal with Solana much on this show or in Alpha Mint. Ethereum is kind of where it's at, but 10% in a day. Normally, when these ETH goes on these tears, we see a little bit of a pullback in the volume of NFTs, but that doesn't seem to be the case this time. What do you think is going to be the signifier that actually happens if we haven't just fully decoupled for the time being?
Well, we've decoupled, and I want to shout out to a Degen Dojo member who pointed this out before, that we have decoupled at the high end. Right, as we've talked about before, apes and punks and very high-end blue chips are effectively priced in dollars. And while that may sound bad, because we've always spoken against how, you know, displaying an NFT in dollar price shocks you and could hurt the actual sale, when you're talking about the absolute upper echelons of this market, it's quite the opposite. In fact, I've talked before about, now my target for Bored Apes is not in Ethereum. My target for Bored Apes is in dollars. I think they're going to get to $1 million floor. Now, that is not as true to new buyers coming into small and medium collections. So it was pointed out to me that while the decoupling of Ethereum probably doesn't matter for the absolute upper echelon of NFT, it does matter for the small and medium collections. But I will contend this. The upper end of NFT still sells, okay? That gigantic pile of ETH still ends up in the wallet. And right now, while Ethereum is nowhere near an all-time high, people are even more hesitant to cash it out, right? They're even more hesitant to do anything else with it but exist within the Ethereum economy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I need ETH to live. I don't want to sell this shit right now. I feel good about it. I'm like, fuck, I got to pay some bills.
And the only thing to do in the Ethereum economy right now is buy NFTs. So while traditionally, I do believe that, especially as a transient in effect, and we know that FMC believes that long term, the price of Ethereum does not matter, as most collectors do think in Ethereum terms. But I do believe that in this specific moment we're in, as new money is flooding into this market as NFTs become a thing, okay, because that is what is happening right now. And every time we think something can't go higher and it takes another leg higher, it's specifically because that new money is coming into the market. So I believe that the effect of new money coming in is superseding the normal transient effects we see of Ethereum rallying a lot. But let's also put this into context. We fell from $4,500 per ETH, and now we're sitting at around 2,800. We had gotten down to 23. So I really don't think even that traditional correlation that people oft spout comes into play, even till we get to maybe that 3,500 level. And it's not happening very quickly. Right? In crypto land and in crypto terms, this is actually a relatively controlled rise. We didn't see some dramatic V bounce off of the bottom. And the reason we tend to see volume leave the NFT market is just because money is rotating to where it's hot next. And when Ethereum rises very quickly and very violently, that spurs on that rotation. But when it's very, very
and is that people looking to get into Ethereum and then the shit coins? Is that kind of that?
Usually, yeah, because all coins usually follow, right? That tends to be, it's more that you see Ethereum rallying like that, you tend to want to be in the coins. Plus, of course, since it is just a very popular correlation. Now, whether correlation is causation is the argument I get into every day, but it is a very popular correlation. People do sell also with the idea that they'll be able to buy more NFTs with the ETH, because if ETH goes up, NFTs will go down in ETH terms. And in a short-term effect, that is usually true, but I think we're rising in such a measured way right now. And again, the flood of new money coming into the market is going to supersede, I believe, any of the traditional correlations we're used to right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing some interesting correlations. This is a totally unprompted conversation, but you mentioned Bored Apes and the floor that it gets to. I just realized I haven't checked in on it since it hit the 100 ETH mark. It is now at a 117 ETH floor, and you are fast approaching being 100% correct about that 125 ETH floor, which you kind of said early or late last year to hit before the Super Bowl, which is just an incredible idea. But you talk about money rotating, right? And, ETH kind of being the one that leads the charge in the DeFi and the shitcoin ecosystem. ETH goes up. All of a sudden, people take their gains. They flip it into, some of the altcoins and try and chase some extra profits before flipping back into ETH. I wonder if, Bored Apes is kind of leading the charge like ETH is for NFTs, right? Like you have this big influx of cash from celebrities. We just saw Eminem spend, 400,000. We just saw Bieber spend $1.3 million, 500 ETH on a Bored Ape. Lots and lots and lots of new money coming into this. Post Malone bought a couple of them. Gwyneth Paltrow. The list goes on and on and on. That's a lot of new ETH coming in. This floor is up. There's been a lot of people that have been holding these for a long time that say maybe now's the time that I peel one or two of my Bored Apes off, or maybe even exit the club. That's a tough decision for people. All of a sudden they're sitting in their MetaMask with 100, 200, 500 ETH that they didn't have before. It's likely a large portion of their portfolio. And now what do they start doing? They start looking for the next big thing, right? So now we see Cool Cats going up, we see Azuki going up, we see CloneX. They are transferring that wealth that they created from Bored Apes into these prospective blue chip projects that they think if they hold them for long enough, they're going to be able to flip for another 100 ETH. Could be the case. Well, what happens is that anybody that bought a CloneX for 0.0 or point, how much was it for presale? 0.05 or even 2 ETH on the public sale is now looking at a 20 ETH sale that they could potentially buy smaller projects and then redistribute. You get that ripple effect just based on one, 500 ETH purchase from Justin Bieber. I think we're seeing a lot of that right now, and I think that's that ripple effect downwards.
Yeah, Absolutely. So I just think that especially into the Super Bowl, and I'm very cognizant of traditional market mechanics, and if everybody knows something is going to happen, it tends to be sell the news on the event. I don't think anyone quite knows what's going to happen yet. And again, what we know in the NFT world really doesn't matter right now, because it's the people who are going about their daily lives right now. They probably hear the word NFT once a month and smile or not even think about it. And they're going to sit down on Sunday and just be inundated with digital collectibles. We found out yesterday Adam Bomb Squad made a deal with the NFL and is going to be involved in the Super Bowl in some way. We found out Noun's glasses, this brought a fucking tear to my eye, are going to be featured in the Super Bowl in some way. This Super Bowl is going from maybe they're going to shout out NFTs at the halftime show to the absolute theme of the entire production. And I really don't know if we know the effect that could come from something like that. I'm almost more scared of getting too cautious into an event like that than being too bullish. I mean, I really don't know. It's pretty, when I think about the possibilities, it's incredible. I want to be measured, and we're going to play things out as they unfold. But right now the runway looks pretty clear to the moon.
Yeah, it's really hard to, a lot of times when we start getting this like big run up, you get worried that this is, unsustainable, and maybe you should start pulling in some liquidity just for the inevitable pullback. But like you said, I mean, there's so much leading up to the next 2 weeks in the NFT world. And the Super Bowl halftime show is almost pure speculation, I would say. But as free market said, like it just feels like the stars are aligned, no pun intended, for this to be something. And it's hard to not be in NFTs and participating in that action if you really believe that that's coming, right? And we see what a influx of cash can do. But if all of a sudden 500,000 people that watch the Super Bowl all of a sudden, are interested in NFTs and they're looking to get into it, and they have a stimmy check or a couple thousand extra dollars that they want to just play around with or something, like that is a large amount of money when you start applying it over a relatively small percentage of people, even just in the United States, let alone the world. So yeah, it's hard to say that this is even close to being done. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So
I want to also just answer Nico really quick. And I'll be honest, I almost didn't know if your question was a joke when you said, what do you guys think of the ETH 2.0 delay? And I'll be honest with you. I don't think ETH 2.0 matters a shit. I don't think that sharding is going to reduce fees on L1 so much that all of a sudden we go, who needs Polygon? I think the real way Ethereum is going to scale up is with L2s. And while sharding and Ethereum 2.0 will improve certain things on L1, if anybody's ever expecting, L2 like fees on L1, it's never happening. So that, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. I don't think Ethereum is broken. I don't think it needs fixing. I'm happy that they're iterating and making it better. But at the same time, I think L2s are our path to Valhalla, and they are getting us there as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, even if you listen to Vitalik speak about scaling ETH and the fees and stuff like that, he'll say proof of stake will make a big difference. But, the future of almost all crypto is these L2s sitting on top of L1s and making them easier and faster to use for everyday things, right? So I also just wanted to say I've been hearing about the ETH 2.0 delay since I got into crypto in 2017. So, I mean, I guess at this point, not surprising. Like it is what it is. It'll be ready when it's ready. I'm happy that they're not forcing something out that's not ready. A lot is riding on this, and a lot more is riding on it now than even in 2017, 2018, right? So do it right, do it properly. We'll get there. There's no immediate need to be there right this moment.
And they will. And ETH 2.0 is coming, and it will provide improvements. But again, really it doesn't matter. All of crypto is NFTs right now. There is no other viable use case. And if you look at the NFT market, it's doing just fine. What does it need?
Yeah,
Does it
cell
need
phones were
anything?
doing just fine before the iPhone came out, right?
Yeah.
Like, it
Nope.
will come. It's coming.
It will, exactly. And there's going to be great improvements. We will laud them, and it will all be great stuff. Does it need anything right now? I don't think it needs shit all. I think it's doing just fine.
For sure. Let's get through the news. This was a good little riff on coming from the crypto market, but a couple of cool news articles I saw. We can just kind of fly through this unless you got any in-depth talk. Former Disney CEO Bob Iger predicts NFT explosion. Bob Iger sees extraordinary possibilities for NFTs, but called out OpenSea for the levels of copyright infringement in NFTs sold on his marketplace. This is definitely coming from the former Disney CEO. I totally get that. If you go on and read a little bit more into the article, he talks about Disney and the metaverse. I started thinking about that, and obviously we've talked about Disney on VV Chain and doing some drops and all of that great stuff. Disney is like a prime candidate for like its own kind of metaverse existence. I mean, you think about Disney World, Disneyland, all of these in real life theme parks and experiences that they have and I could totally just imagine like an actual Disney metaverse where you get to run around in VR, and you Star Wars and all of the old Disney movies and all of that, the Marvel IP. Like there's an incredible amount they could do with this. Bob Iger isn't the CEO anymore, but he was a pretty visionary CEO that led Disney to some pretty incredible growth over the time that he was there. And I think that this is a pretty bullish sign that someone like this is validating.
There are a few people that I respect and look up to more in the world of business than Bob Iger. Steve Jobs was one of them. If you understood what Bob Iger took in Disney when he got there and what he turned it into, I know Disney's been around for so long that even when they go through bad periods and come out of it, it's almost a foregone conclusion it's going to happen. But if you knew how far gone Disney was at one point and how lost they were in the products they were putting out and the turnaround that Bob Iger engineered, he's masterful, he's brilliant, and seeing this makes me very happy. Again, I've always looked up to the guy. I've followed his career very closely, and he's right.
I don't read a lot, just with the time that we spend reading on the computer about NFTs and stuff like that. But I do need to pick up his autobiography that he wrote, because apparently it's incredible.
He's a business genius. He's just he's somebody whose perspective will help improve the way you look at organizing systems in your life and being risky in the right ways. It's he put on a masterclass in that. So definitely read whatever you can about Bobby Iger.
So I want you to just take a step back for a second and remove as much of it as you can, the love that you have for Steve Jobs and Apple. How do you think that Steve Jobs would actually feel about NFTs?
Well,
how would you want him to feel? Obviously.
No, I agree with you. I think so. It would be very. I don't know how he would actually feel. I think in public he would be very against them to an extent. I think that Steve Jobs was a master marketer, and he would basically put down a product or an idea until Apple figured out how to do it the way they wanted to do it. And then all of a sudden, a stylus made sense, except it was called Apple Pencil. And all of a sudden, a large screen made sense before, even though he said they had tested every screen size and given the human width of the finger, it just didn't work. He had an explanation. This is what he did. Yet he was very rigid and firm in public, because what sells better than anything is an opinion. It doesn't even matter if people agree or disagree with your opinion, right? It's about causing emotion. We know this with FUD and FOMO. Cause an emotion, okay, and you tend to compel people to do something. Now, I think that behind closed doors, Steve Jobs was a very, very open-minded person. And if you understood what Apple was building and testing and attempting behind closed doors versus the stance that they take in public, it was always very stark. So I think that he would have been watching Web3 and the Metaverse and NFTs with great interest, trying to figure out how Apple fit into that place. But in public, I could have certainly see him being very anti it or against it.
Yeah, I mean, I always just get the impression, and I think Steve Jobs was brilliant, but you know, unless it was his idea, he wouldn't be that publicly bullish on it. But yeah, it's an interesting conversation for sure. But Bob Iger looking towards NFTs is pretty dope. Quick one: cryptoization poses risks for emerging markets. IMF counselor. Emerging markets are facing immediate and acute risks as a result of crypto potentially replacing traditional currencies, the IMF warned. I mean, if this just doesn't scream like old school, you know, institution worried about the power that, you know, or at least the agency that you have over your own money poses, then I don't know what does. It's again, this is just a bunch of old money saying, please stop. It's going to be so bad.
The IMF, the WEF, and the BOE do not like the crypto.
I always just like pulling it up because it just makes me feel even more bullish. A little bit of talk about Kanye West. He's basically just said, stop asking me to do NFTs. Ask me later. I don't know if this is just him saying, I'm busy right now, but I'll get back to you. Kanye says he's getting lots of requests to create an NFT. His answer is no. For now. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, if Kanye bought NFTs, it would be a huge sign. That would definitely be one of the artists you'd look for. But if Kanye made an NFT, I mean, you could just assume that thing is going to the moon.
Yeah, I think that this is an obvious statement that he's getting into NFTs. I don't even think this isn't a statement against NFTs. Read it very close. There was no reason to put this statement out. The only reason he put this statement out was for the last line.
Yeah, my focus is on building real products in the real world. Real food, real clothes, real shelter. Do not ask me to do a fucking NFT. Yay. Ask me later.
And
so, yeah, there you go.
There was no reason to put out that statement. Zero. If there were people asking him in his private life, he wouldn't even respond. He would have the people who work for him tell them no. He would just he'd tell one person, you tell everyone no, and that would be it. He'd never have to speak about it again. He put a public post out and a public statement, and the only 3 lines on that thing that matter are NFT, ye, ask me later. The stuff above it literally means nothing. Just cut it off.
Just
right,
do
boom. NFT,
right there.
ye, ask me later. That's it. That was the statement.
We'll just clip that and make a news article.
Right.
Kanye says he's going to do an NFT later.
Every single news organization will take the bait, and they're taking it on purpose because Kanye is a PR genius and media is, you know, a PR machine, and they're all going to play into it because hype and controversy sell.
Kanye is a PR genius for sure. I mean, he is the epitome of there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? Like, just as long as people are talking about you, as long as you're in their thought process, doesn't matter if they're saying it's good or bad, as long as you're there, you are in.
Guess what? I'll speculate and tell you what the first Kanye West NFT is going to be, and I bet you Hologram agrees and knows exactly what I'm going to say. It's going to be the Tezos Gap threads. There's going to be, then I speculate that on the next drop or the drop after, it will be one of Yeezy's fashion items. It may even be how they debut the Yeezy line through the Gap product.
Isn't Yeezy like the shoes through
Yeezy
Adidas,
are
though?
His shoes, and now
Adidas?
Gap
through
yes.
Adidas.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think that there's a more obvious connection directly to like the Bored Ape brand?
Possible.
Like, that's where my mind would immediately go, personally.
Yeah, it's possible.
But I mean, I know that he has the deal with the Gap, and Gap's moving in. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put my thought process anywhere above yours or anything. But just like talking NFTs, that's like when you said it, my mind immediately went, "Oh yeah, Adidas."
But, yeah, it could that could be true also. That could be true also. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not saying no to that. It's just I don't own that one. So
yeah. Hologram says Gap too. Tell me you own Gap NFTs without telling me. Last one.
I gotta buy that Adidas one.
This might not mean a lot if you aren't into gaming, but Game Studio shuns Worms maker Team 17 over Ethereum NFT plans. If you've played games for any amount of time, you probably remember the Worms franchise, which is like a little 2D side-scrolling game where two teams of worms kind of fire weapons at each other, blow up the landscape, and it was actually pretty fun. I haven't played it in a long time, but I guess the plans is that they're making an NFT based game, which could be pretty cool. Don't know how it would work, but yeah, other game studios are basically just denouncing them, saying we'll never work with this team or whatever. And I'm sure Team 17 is saying, well, fine, fuck you too then. It is what it is, but I do just laugh every time I see all of these other game studios just being like, oh, no. Like, let's think about what these game studios have at stake. You buy a cosmetic item from Fortnite, guess what? They still own the cosmetic item, right? You've given them money and you have no agency over the ownership of that piece of gear. You can't transfer it. You can't sell it. The only way that you can recoup some of your costs is to actually sell the full account, which means that everything else that you bought with it is going with it. And it is against their terms of service, which means that they can block the account if they find out that you've done it. So, you know, every time I hear a game studio go gasp, not NFTs, I mean, you just got to remember they are protecting their own interests at hand. And, you know, to that I say, deal with it. Have you are you familiar with Worms at all, Free Market?
I am not familiar with the Worms franchise. I don't know the game at all. I am familiar with traditional Web 2 studios getting antsy that the newer, more talented gaming teams are moving towards Web 3 because it's a much better situation for all involved unless you are a well-established entity whose status quo is being threatened.
We at Aggro Crab, I don't even know what Aggro Crab is. Condemned Team 17's
Aggro Crab!
Yeah, that's probably how they say it. Decision to produce and engage with NFTs. We believe NFTs cannot be environmentally friendly or useful and are really just an overall fucking grift. Please do not harass employees at Team 17 or the devs under their umbrella, as this decision seems to have taken everyone off guard and likely came from the very top. Needless to say, we will not be working with them on further titles and encourage other indie developers to do the same unless this decision is reversed. I fucking hate it here. Adios. See ya. Bye.
Yeah, they're not going to make it.
They can't be environmentally friendly. I fucking, oh God, I hate that narrative with a passion, but let them say it. I really don't care. Did we already talk about Eternal Elves? No, but we're going to at least touch on it for sure because it minted out in a hurry and is doing pretty well. WGMI, lots of green. I only bring this up because there's a couple projects that really caught my eye. Didn't even see this going down yesterday, but Boss Beauties is absolutely killing it. This is on the back of, I think, Crypto Chicks and World of Women doing really well, but it is up to a 3.3 ETH floor on some pretty incredible volume. If anybody has some context, if there was more news that I missed out on, let me know. But I mean, the volume on this project has just been absolutely massive over the last 2 weeks since that kind of, you know, meta kicked off. 3.3 ETH floor is really just going in line with everything else that's mooning. It's absolutely wild. There's a, you know, I saw a little bit of hype about it on Twitter. I don't know if you caught anything, but yeah.
No, I don't understand these projects. I don't. They look similar to World of Women to me.
That's what I was going to say.
The art is not like striking to me. I don't get these projects. At the same time, it doesn't matter because they're sitting at $10,000 per JPEG.
That makes sense. Thank you for commenting, Nick and JRP. Boss Beauty signed with Rolling Stones for the Super Bowl. There we go. I guess,
and again, I knew. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that news bit. I knew that it happened. I still don't get it. I feel like there's such great art out there. There's such like next level stuff that these don't. Well, now that I'm seeing this well-made video, I can't say these things. I feel bad.
Do you think that they look better on the wall a little bit there? Maybe.
I think they look better as physical paintings.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna agree with you. I clicked on the website and I was like, huh, on canvas these actually look pretty good.
You know, here's the problem, right? When you shrink something down to a JPEG and do it digitally and it's this style, it looks cut and paste, right? It looks like you took like existing assets and pasted them together. I think when you see someone paint this, it's a completely different vibe that it gives off. And you know,
this is not crazy vector art or whatever. I mean, I don't want to say it's basic. Somebody probably put a lot of time and energy into doing it, but you know, I agree personally. As NFTs, there are better projects out there, and I you know, I think they'll get their time too. But yeah, looking at this video, I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of seeing it now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you had more on that thought.
No, I didn't. I mean, they look very nice, and I'm sure anybody in that project's going to make a hell of a bag while also feeling empowered.
Yes, I'm Boss Beauties also collab with Marvel. Yeah, okay, so they've this is a team that's I guess putting their partnerships in a line and doing well for themselves. So good for the holders too. Oh, congrats to them. I mean, a 3 ETH floor is huge, and it's up from a 0.2 floor 30 days ago. Holy shit!
Is it 10K?
Is it 10K? I believe so. Yeah, hold on. Let me. Yeah, 10K. Yep. So.
Remember, cool. You remember back in the day when 10K was a large supply? I remember. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Pepperidge Farms, remember? Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
You got it. Women in Weapons doing well. Atom Bomb Squad, you mentioned is partnered up with the Super Bowl. Some capacity. I was kind of doing something while you're talking about that. I apologize, but lots of green, lots of big numbers here. Some big numbers on the 30-day change too. So Phantom Bear is actually fallen down quite a bit. That was up to what, 70 ETH for a little bit?
Yeah, I saw someone, I don't remember, like Sneaky Ninja or something, buy one in the whale watching, but yeah, that had its hype cycle.
Yeah, it had its hype cycle for sure. Okay, next thing I wanted to talk about was, well, actually a couple floors that ripped. We don't need to go in depth on them because we've talked about them a lot. Gossape Girl, a project that we worked with, going down a little bit here, 0.43 floor. I'll refresh it, but the last I checked, that was very thin. It was up to almost 0.7 yesterday, just on some incredible, completely organic volume. And they're doing a great job over there. Again, love the art. Coolmans Universe did really well too. It did briefly kind of flirt with a 2 ETH floor. And it just seems like, 1 ETH at this point is, with a little bit of momentum, is totally achievable now. We used to think of that as some kind of like high water mark, as the first leg of the beginning of a really great project. And now it seems programmed for anything that's half decent quality, honestly.
Yep, it's that type of market. Rising tides is lifting all boats to levels that even for, good projects, they could get during the bear. Maybe they'd get to 0.3, 0.4, and then they would just fall off. I mean, now that range has certainly gone up, and good projects will get to that 1.5 area before they cool off from their hype cycles. We're in that type of atmosphere, and quite frankly, Gossapes is special. I mean, this art, we want to talk about Boss Beauties versus Gossapes, right? Like every single lady that I have showed Gossapes to has identified with it, has liked them, had said, these are the ones I want to buy, right? And I am not saying that in any other capacity, but it is true. And that is why I think this collection is doing so well. I am starting to see them pop up in the pictures of not influencers, but NFT people with large followings that I have followed for a long time because they like these. I think that these are going to do very, very well over the long term, and I think they have some very, very interesting things coming too. So this is very, we say it a lot. We're so proud of that team. They have executed on a high level. Shout out to Zay. Shout out to Whitelist.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to say like full disclosure, NFA, all that stuff, we definitely both minted these and participated. I actually just sold my first one yesterday into that pump just to make sure that my cost basis was completely covered, which I did. I didn't quite do it happily, but there's so much stuff going on that I wanted to free up a little bit of liquidity. But honestly, I think the rest of them are going to be somewhat long holds for me. Maybe, further down the road, if they really start to rip, you start to take some profits just to make sure you lock it in. But I mean, I'm so bullish for this project in the long term, and the team was great. Next up, I had the Azuki and CloneX. Now we mentioned this, was it yesterday or Friday? We talked about, which would hit the 10 ETH floor. I don't even know. It's crazy how time happens. I guess it was yesterday, wasn't it? That's right, because Azuki was at 9 ETH and CloneX was at 16, 17 ETH. And we were saying, CloneX beat it to 10 ETH. And it might actually hit 20 before Azuki hits 10. And now the race is back on to 20 ETH. Azuki just flew to 16 ETH floor overnight. I actually had to refresh this a couple times because I thought OpenSea was bugging out on me, and I checked the activity tab, and lo and behold, we are firmly above 15 ETH floor. CloneX slowed down a little bit, but hard to even call it that when it's sitting at an almost 17 ETH floor here. Just really incredible, these two projects, the run that they've been on.
Azuki is this cycle's Oni, or ON1, for people who need to search it and aren't familiar, and it will follow a similar path.
You think that there's going to be a big downturn for them?
Huge.
Yeah.
They'll fall back to 3 or 4 ETH.
Oh wow! Did Oni take this trajectory though? I don't remember Oni.
And Farouk bought them at 8 ETH. I mean, these guys were going to change the game, mixing media and blah blah blah. This is classic Oni, and right now everyone is so high on this hype cycle they can't see it. It's changing the game. Everyone's changing their PFPs to it. Well, I guess you guys weren't here for Oni or ON1 or whatever the hell that project wanted to be called. Now, I don't think Azuki's ever going to zero like Oni or ON1, and I don't think that this team is not dedicated. I think this team is next level. These are going to 4 ETH, so I would change these into something else quite quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with that, but I mean, Rips is saying there has to be a huge drop off. It ran up way too fast. I mean, it's
they're going to get plugged.
People are going to start taking profits for sure, and the volume, I would assume, has to dry up. But again, going back to this market and how crazy it was, is I would never have thought it would be here in the first place. I would have thought it would have been a couple of months before Azuki hit 10 ETH. I figured that this project and the team and the quality that they were putting out was going to be good enough to get it there eventually. But when I say eventually, I mean 3 months, 6 months, a year. I didn't think it was going to be the next week. And now not only have we crossed that 10 ETH threshold, I mean, they're actively selling in with volume at 15 ETH. If you listed one of these up at 15 ETH, it's going to get snapped up immediately. So
anybody holding a floor
to see that this is even possible. Yeah, go ahead.
Anybody holding a floor, Azuki, at 17 ETH needs their head checked. You take that 17 ETH and run for the hills. You're risking 17 for 3 right now.
I mean that's fair. Especially again, if this has grown into a huge portion of your portfolio, right? If you would say your whole portfolio is valued at 10 ETH, and then all of a sudden this one JPEG runs up to 17 ETH, I don't know. I mean,
they're not worth 17, guys. It's a nice JPEG. It's not worth 17.
Yeah, I mean, again, you could go to CloneX and say that this one is, well, that's on a bid. But some of these floors aren't worth 17 either. But
guys, CloneX are worth it. You got to understand. How many times do I have to talk about what Artifact is before Nike fucking pays them and everyone just throws in the towel? This is not comparable to Azuki on any fucking level.
I agree. And this comparison is really just because they're taking the same kind of run up at the same time with, I want to say similar kinds of art, but not really. But there he goes. I just, if you took the Nike situation out of the equation, do you think that CloneX is where it is right now?
Probably not.
No, and that's fair. I know that we're trying to talk about something that just doesn't exist. Nike is in the equation and it exists, but I just that would be my feeling. But it is a reality, so it's kind of a stupid question in general.
Everything I've said is NFA, and if you sell your Azuki at 17 and it runs to 35, I don't want to hear any tweets at me. This is my pure, unadulterated opinion. I am here to opine. But
yeah, you know what?
that's
I mean, we don't normally like say it. I guess you're supposed to explicitly say like not financial advice and blah 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 blah. But like, yeah, I mean, we're talking about our opinions, and you know, our opinions don't necessarily apply to
this is my
everybody and their
gut.
trading style. But yeah, I mean,
And
it's
in the
hard to
last
ignore
3
it.
years, I have been wrong 3 times. So let's not assume.
Yes. No assumptions there. Love the Rips. Yeah, that's a good name. Any ideas what's going on what Azuki is going to collab with? I'm actually under the impression that Azuki is trying to make their own brand around this project, and rather than relying on partnerships, kind of become their own, you know, metaverse kind of branding. And I'm sure you'll start to see some physicals coming out of them as well. Coming out of them.
Yeah,
That's
look, I want to end all this too with saying I love this project. I
yes,
love the art,
yeah.
Next level. I couldn't.
And believe me, if free market didn't, you would know it. And
Yeah,
I would say it too.
Oh yeah. No question. Love it. I'm just trying to analyze the the short-term Ethereum price cycle. That's all I'm trying to look at right now, and it just seems a little too much too quick with all, tides lifting all boats in relation to apes being at 125 and all of that money basically pouring down into everything else.
Yeah, for sure. Justin Vine is asking, would you FMC flip a lemon if you had 10 into a Gossape Girl? I mean, are you just talking about a straight 1-to-1 trade? They're around the same floor. I would assume so.
Diversification is never a bad thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
If you're asking me which project I'm more bullish on, I would just point you to my Twitter.
Yeah, it's easy to see the answer to that. But I would say if you have like 0 Gossape Girl and you have 10 lemons, having a little bit of exposure to both is never going to be a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Like if you wanted a Gossape, I don't think you need 10 lemons and 9 lemons and 1 Gossape or 8 lemons and 2 Gossapes. And that ratio should be probably, how bullish you personally feel on both of them, right? Like sit down, do some not napkin math, but some like mental math and just say like, do I think lemons and Gossape Girl have a 50-50 shot of both mooning? Like then maybe you should own 50%, 5 of one, 5 of the other. If you think lemons has a 8 out of 10 shot and Gossape doesn't, like then balance your portfolio in that respect. I would say, if you think that Gossape is never going to moon and lemons are going to the moon, but you're just you just want one, like then keep all your lemons. It is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So but yeah, thank you for the question. I appreciate that. Zipsy going crazy. I haven't even looked at that in a little bit. Okay, so
man, I think I had this whitelist and ignored it too. So
Zipsy?
That's a little cope for me this morning. Yeah, and I know I miss certain metas because I just don't care, and I just this meta is missing me a little bit. Like I don't know. I have a certain style, like star catchers. Like that's just it's a style that speaks to me. These look like boss beauties. These look like World of Women. Like it's the same project 3 times. What am I supposed to do? So like again, I think everyone who owns these is a goddamn sharp, and you were brilliant for getting into these things. These are better cooks than anything I've participated in recently. But it's everyone has their wheelhouse, and we could only watch so much. And I remember I got Zipsy, I think through what's it called? Through Kaiju. Yeah, I think I got it through the Kaiju Kings, but I ignored it. People were telling me it was the tits too. And
shit, this is pre-reveal. It's up to 4.3 ETH. That's pretty cool.
No, I will say this. Well, no, go ahead. R2.
No, I was gonna say, what I hate about this project is that this banner, I feel like it's like Art Chicks PFP looking at me, or no, sorry, the videos that she put out when there was some speculation that she was that Tanner Golding or whatever the name was, which I guess Tanner ended up being the pseudonym, but she had this like video where she was like very like masked up, sunglasses on, and like I was just like, oh, this is like Art Chicks staring at me.
I like that banner. What do I need hope? What do I need shop or do I need hope? What do I need hope for? I'm trying to think. Did I say anything negative?
Bob Hope.
That I need hope? I need to smoke some hopium? I feel like I've been too bullish this show.
Let's talk about some of the shit that went down yesterday. I guess at this point was we'll do a little recap of the turn of events that happened.
Oh my God, Flies is $5.32. Do you remember I was telling? No, I don't want to focus.
No, that happened yesterday. Actually, talk about Flies. Yeah, no.
Well, do you remember I was telling you right before the show I wanted to 8 more at $2? It's almost 6 right now.
You did say that, yes.
I've been buying more over the last couple days. Look, there's not a lot of volume there. I mean, this isn't something.
It launched 12 hours ago.
Yes, I bought twice yesterday. I bought once this morning, and I almost made another buy right before this. Huh?
No, I'm just fucking with you. I know.
No. I've been buying. I think this thing's going to $1,000. Remember where Ohm was before it crashed? Ohm was $1,000, right?
Ohm was $1,000. No, was it?
Yeah.
I actually never paid attention to
Ohm was $1,000. It crashed to like 80. I don't know where it is right now, but I expect Flies to go to $1,000. That's a mere 200x from here. I'm here for it. I live for it.
Okay, so let's talk about Flies, because this is we spoke with the creator of Creature Toads, who is spearheading this project. Creature Toads, the gentleman named Semper. And so basically, if you were holding Creature Toads or a myriad of other profile picture projects, you got a certain allocation of the Flies token. I believe for every Creature Toads that you held, you got 50. And then it kind of scaled down from there. If you had
there were
like Galactic Apes, I think you got 10 of each.
All other collections, and there were, I believe, 13 total. Got 10 Flies per NFT you own. So I have 4 Kaijus. I got 40 more from my Kaijus. And then the other number was baby toads got a very small multiplier, 52 for each baby toad.
Right, baby toads was the other one that was up there.
Yeah, but it was a very small difference. It was essentially 50 for each toad from your Creature Toads collection, and then 10 if you had eligible NFTs from any of the other ones.
Yeah, so this is do you want to explain what the Flies is, and why you're so bullish on it?
Right. Now, Flies is an Ohm fork created by Semper, who is the person who conceived the Creature Toads project, right? And it is an Ohm fork. So if you've ever seen the 3,3 meme, that is what Ohm is. And Ohm is essentially and I don't understand these things too in depth, but Ohm is a rebasing bonding mechanism and staking farm in which the point is to stay staked, and then every set amount of time, and I believe it's every 7.5 hours or about, you get a yield that is of coin. So just as an example, on one of my accounts, I have 23 Flies as my potential yield on 2,169 that I have staked. And then it's added in those 7 hours. So it's the compounding effect of constantly adding more, just like looks, right? Looks automatically adds the looks that you're adding back into it. So it's this idea of compounding staking. And it's based on this NFT project, Creature Toads. So they finally launched their Swamp DAO. I don't want to go too in-depth into it because I think Semper can speak a lot better on it. But if you do have any of the eligible NFTs, go to swampdao.finance. And of course, as with all these airdrops, you have to look at the price of Flies and see if it's worth it for you to claim it. Now, if you're long-term minded, you could claim it at whatever price it is, even if you're spending a little money to do so, and then you stake it and you have your long-term position. If you're looking to dump this and just take the free money quickly, you probably want to wait until the Flies price is kind of where it is right now at $4, where it's maybe slightly profitable for people who actually have a decent amount to go and take it and dump it, of which 4 accounts just did into that most recent pop. It's very low liquid. Right now, there is about $245,000 in TVD, total value deposited. So this is a long-term play. on what I believe was the missing element with the Ohm fork, and that was community. We saw how they had maybe one of the best memes in all of crypto with this 3,3, because it took over everything. And now in NFT projects, you know, it could be lemon, lemon, or if you're in some new coin, it could be SOS, SOS. And it just became the meme that basically indicated, I'm on this team, right? This is the team that I'm on. And we know that there is no better community builder than art. That's why NFTs are working. That's why they are a cultural revolution, because nothing bonds people together more than art. And that is why Creature Toads, even after their hype cycle and after the project felt left for dead, persists and exists. And it's because of that community. And I believe it was the missing element in Ohm forks that NFTs can provide. And I do believe over this year, as DeFi dies, and many of your traditional Ethereum DeFi players start turning to NFTs, and specifically NFTFi, as we like to call it, I think Swamped Out here can become one of the biggest memes, not just of the year, but of all time, as this maligned mashup that was misunderstood, accused of being something it wasn't, loved by a large percentage of this NFT market who was very eager to ape it when it debuted, left for dead with one of the smartest, most dedicated creators I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. I just think this thing has absolute monster potential. And before the coin actually was, before you had the ability to actually claim it, it was sitting at about $14. So people were, quote, this was just Semper basically adding to the LP, really, right? And then the moment it went public, people started hitting it and cashing out, and it quickly fell to about 70 cents. Well, I doubled my position there. And even at $1.50 and $1.80 and $2 throughout the last day, I've been adding. And if it falls back down to $1.80, I'll do the same thing. I believe in this for the cliche, often spouted reason that we hear over and over again, and we're kind of sick of hearing, is community. I think this Ohm fork is going to work because of the community built around it. And I think eventually the entire NFT community at large is going to see this phenomena and then start chasing the FOMO that they see. And I do think these things are going to get to $1,000 this year. And then the underlying collection, Creature Toads, will flip creatures on that meme alone.
Yeah, I want to go back to that conversation that we had with Semper, and I'm not, saying this for any other reason, other than I was so impressed with him, and I'd never spoken to him before, of how much he gets it. It started from this picture here that I have up. He just made a mashup just as something fun to do, right? And people kind of gravitated towards it, said it was great, you should make a project of it. He did it. It was one of the first NFT mashups between two projects that we could think of. I think Currency Punks, which was maybe a little bit before, but it wasn't overly great. And it took on such a life of his own, and this guy has the wherewithal to not only create this project, but to build that community around it. And it still exists, despite the fact, as you said, it went to a 0.00 floor. But now, he's got such a passion for that community that he literally said, I'm trying to build something that's going to change some people's lives here. And I know we've heard that from 888 or whatever, which was a little more grandiose, but yeah, I mean, he's just kept working. He's never put his head down. He never let a 0.0 floor get him down, and here we are. And I mean, his ambition is incredible, and I think he's got the intelligence to pull it off too. I don't know about 1,000. I haven't looked into it this much. I mean, the math checks out. It absolutely could, but yeah, I claimed some. I have some. It's not a huge, portion for me. It wasn't enough that I was like, I need to sell this right now. I'm just going to let it sit in my MetaMask and see what happens. Actually, I'll probably end up staking them, but I mean, yeah, why not? If you're going to bet on teams, this guy's good. And if you don't believe me, go check out the interview or go into their community and talk to him. He's more than willing to do it.
And just so everyone has perspective, This is sitting at about $1 million market cap right now. A 200x from here would be $200 million. This is a punt in the world of DeFi and the world of meme coins with the ability to get to 1 billion, 10 billion, and $30 billion. I'm not predicting that for flies, but $200 million, if this catches a good meme cycle, seems completely doable to me.
Yeah. I got somebody asking about the beings news. I don't really know about this. I know that it minted the public or pre-sale yesterday, or that was the goal. I'm pulling it up real quick, but I'm also seeing people in the chat saying that they were just on a spaces and it was an absolute disaster. I don't really have any context about this, but if you guys can, fill me in on it, maybe it's something we could do a recap of tomorrow if it kind of warrants it. But it looks like there's lots of volume on it, so I don't know if that means good news or bad news. Anyways, yesterday, I mean, the topics of the day were Cool Pets getting delayed a couple times. It started off as, just hold off for a second. And then it turned into, it's going to be later tonight. And then it turned into the Cool Cats owners can now mint these, and they're going to have a 24-hour advance rather than the 1 hour that they initially had. And if all goes to plan, I suppose the Cool Pets mint is now going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern today. So a little bit of a delay. I know there was some issues with the contract that they were deploying. They were trying to fix some stuff in regards to OpenSea's bugs to prevent that from happening to their holders as well. But yeah, here we are. So we made some price predictions. You said you gave me an over underline of 5 ETH yesterday, and I think I slammed the over button, but I think the dynamic of this has kind of taken some wind out of its sails slightly. I still think it's an incredible project. But yeah, I think a lot of these Cool Pets owners aren't apt to be selling these or dumping these super fast, especially because they minted them for free. And even though these were all for free, they're still at almost 3 ETH floor. But yeah, we're going to see how that goes down today. And I don't know. Yeah. Do you think that this is going to affect their launch dynamics? Do you think it's better? Do you think it's like a bit of a tarnish on their brand, or, it's hard to fault somebody for trying to correct some mistakes at the last second.
No, I think the team's doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Does it take a little air out of the bubble? Sure, because this was already, gearing up to be a little bit of not overhyped, right? But when something becomes a foregone conclusion, we know that often the opposite happens. So this was one of those things where everything was an absolute foregone conclusion, and then the delay may have just taken a little bit of air out of the balloon. Yesterday, when they first started appearing on OpenSea, the first sale was at 3.6. And I think at one point, the floor got up to 4, and there was some bizarre sale for like 4.4, maybe by somebody that didn't know what they were doing. But it quickly fell back down, and it's been between 2.5 and 3, which is, I think, where everybody expected them to be. So if you're on that allow list, it still looks like free money. But I will caution you, I expect a large percentage of the people on that allow list to try to dump and take that money because of the price action they saw. So we always talk about adjusting to reality as it happens. And now that reality has happened and the dynamics of their launch have changed, I do believe that the people sitting on pre-sale and watching, who may have been compelled to either hold or play if these had rallied to 5 ETH or above, will actually be compelled to now quickly try to get the profit before, in their mind, it goes even lower.
I think what you said earlier when they first announced that it was going to be a 0.5 ETH mint was is going to play in pretty big here too. You've got a bunch of people that won a raffle to try and get in on this, especially because you don't want to play the secondary market on it, but 0.5 ETH is a great price to mint these because it's Cool Cats, and everything Cool Cats is amazing, or has been amazing. But there's definitely going to be a decent swath of people that probably had to try and free up some liquidity, or maybe are overextending themselves a little bit to get this. And if that is the case, they're probably looking down the barrel of a 2.53 ETH floor and just ready to pull the trigger, honestly, because, if you can flip 2.5 ETH profit in a day, and all of a sudden you've 5x or 10x your actual liquidity if you're paying it back elsewhere, it's probably the smart play for you. So I think that there's going to be a lot of initial downward pressure, but I do think that the avid Cool Cats owners, or those that have been kind of priced out of a Cool Cats but want to partake in the game or the ecosystem of Cool Cats, are going to be more than happy to start snatching these up. And I think it's going to be a short-lived, I don't want to call it dump, but some serious listing pressure, and I think it'll go back up.
It will be a dump, and I think it's a gift for anybody who didn't get whitelist or didn't have the ability to mint one of these things because they owned a Cool Cat. I know tons of whales who have been salivating at this, but certainly didn't know how much profit would be left in that 1900 public sale gas war that is apt to go down once these things go live. And now I would expect the allow list to give a lot of whales who have been sitting on the sidelines an opportunity to get into this thing cheap. I know I have been ruining the fact that I can only mint one, but if these things fall under 2 here on the dump, I'll certainly be picking up another.
Oh, so yeah, definitely. Yeah. I have a price target in mind. If it hits below a certain point, I'll pull the trigger on buying one off the secondary just to have some exposure. I'm not buying it yet, though.
Because here's the strategy, R2. I mean, I'm not a Cool Cats diehard. I love the Cool Cats, but to me, the strategy here would be you leave one like a CloneX vial in that egg, and you play the other one. So, Uncle Free's strategy, if these do dip like we predict, and I can get 2, would be to leave one in its egg and ideally sell that in a year or 2 for some absorbent premium, or and turn one into a water creature. So one of the things you're going to have the option of doing with your pet is deciding whether it's going to be earth, wind, fire, or water. And this being,
you get to decide that, or is it pop out of the egg like that?
No, you get to pick the items that turn your pet into what you want it to be.
Oh, I see. Interact with Cool Pet to help determine the trait. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I believe this year is the year of the water tiger in lunar calendar tradition, and I will be turning the one pet that I take out of my egg into a water pet. And if I only do get one egg and that floor does not dump, I'll probably be opening it. I'll only be keeping one egg unopened if it doesn't dump. I mean, if it does dump and I'm able to get 2. Sorry.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the long-term prospects of it are great. You know, we've seen the success that Bored Apes has had with the Bored Ape Kennel Club, and then the Mutant Apes, right? And it does seem like a natural progression. Obviously, the Cool Pets are a game added on top of it. I think it's really on brand. I think there's like some kind of like simplified Pokemon elements of this, like you said, with the element traits, and there's some token generation. Cool Pets are gonna earn milk or go on quests to earn milk on Polygon. Milk token on ETH is going to be generated by Cool Cats, and I'm assuming that this team is going to have some really great ways to continue using that milk token to great success. So I mean, if you're looking at token plays and thinking about them, I mean, the ape token and the milk token are going to be great ones to look at down the road. And I think that it's going to be fun to watch this again. Like I'm excited about Raid Party, which we're going to talk about next, and I think I'm going to put my energy into playing that game. And it's kind of hard to manage, a couple of games all at once, and you do the show and in Alphaman doing some other stuff too. So I'm going to kind of pick my battles here, and I think Raid Party is the one I'm going to go with in terms of actually playing. But like I said, if the eggs start to drop down below a certain price after the allow list starts to mint, I think I'd probably scoop one up and just hold it.
And I want everyone to understand something about the Cool Cat community. Okay, these are not Wall Street Kongs. These are not Kaijus. These are not anonymized. Okay, these are happy, young, good-looking people whose first NFT was this 0.02 to 0.06 mint and are right now sitting on gigantic bags. Okay. These are not sophisticated game theorists approaching this game the same way alpha discords approached ether orcs. So I just want people to understand that there is not I don't think I think that the price action in pets and especially in milk, okay? And milk is the underlying utility token that cats will earn a minimum of 1,000 of per day. I just don't think you're going to see necessarily the typical utility token cycles or game cycles that you see in other games, as the majority of these players are not necessarily the max min type of game players that we're used to in very high performance alpha discords. That's not knocking it. That's almost saying maybe it's the better game to play. So we'll see.
I just pulled up this video to try and have it up on screen while we were talking about it, and I just realized it was a town hall meeting, and it was just a static image of them with them talking over it. So, oops, I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on.
I was on a Cool Cat Spaces yesterday for about 30 minutes, listening to a lot of prominent cool cats discuss the game.
Yeah. I mean, not, like you said, it's probably not the most deep game you're ever going to experience, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be. A lot of like the most simple, like look at fucking Tetris, right? People still play Tetris. It's simple. Blocks go down, right. Stack them up, match them up, good to go. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Fun to watch go down tonight.
Not Litecoin. We love the cats.
Litecoin. What?
LTC. I always thought We Love the Cats was wrapped Litecoin. WLTC.
Oh, Love the Cats. Oh yeah, WLTC. Right. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was trying to put that acronym together. Couple other things went down. Lives of Asuna finally got their collection off the ground, and it is doing well. Trying to find the tab here. I know people with OCD are going to be killing me for the amount of tabs I have up here, but it is a necessity. Last time I checked, 2.5 ETH floor pre-reveal, 11,000. Wow, 2.8 now, and 400 ETH traded in just that brief time since I've refreshed. But yeah, almost 12,000 in volume trading on Lives of Asuna. And this meta is getting out of. I don't want to say getting out of hand. That's not the right word to use, but maybe starting to feel a little toppy. I don't know.
Possibly a little toppy. Well, I lost this raffle, so of course I'm going to come in here and FUD. No, I'm just kidding. I just think that this is a very similar meta right now. There's many projects that are basically the same as Lives of Asuna. They have a very high floor going into reveal. Typically, I would say these are going to tank after reveal, but we are in a very, very different type of market right now. So it's up to you whether you want to hold through reveal. If this is the waifu for you, I understand.
Chess and Tetris is how I teach traders how to scalp. I am very curious as to how that is. Free Market, you want to take a stab at that one?
Chess and Tetris is how I teach traders to scalp. Yes, this actually does. I mean, yes, I totally get that. You have to understand, 2-year flipper is much smarter and better at me than those things. So we would have to have him on to explain it. But yes, the math, chess and Tetris are math. Like that's really what it is when you break it down. There's a proper mathematical move for each situation you're in. So
I love playing chess. I suck at it, but I love playing it. Do you ever play it?
I have played it. I don't play it often. I know how to play.
Gotcha. Yes, I know the little horsey moves in the L.
Correct.
Is that how it works? Yeah. Okay, let's go down to actually let's really quickly touch on Kokodi, a project that we did an interview with and have been working with, but they did their mint a little bit slow going at first, but it got across the finish line late last night and is looking pretty good. I mean, honestly, we were really impressed with the artwork, and there is actually some gameplay footage out there that I think kind of did the rounds and maybe pushed it over the edge. But it is looking really good. thought I had the OpenSea page listings showing up, but it minted at 0.03 for the pre-sale list, and then 0.05 for the public sale. And like I said, I think it was probably about 12 hours before the ball really started to get going. And when I went to bed, I checked on it, about 600 minted, and I woke up with lots of congratulatory messages for the team. So that was great to see. You ended up minting a couple of them.
Yeah, I minted a bunch myself. I loved the art, which is what made me gravitate towards it. And the fact that I haven't been able to play the game yet. I know it's very close to being. So, seeing the game demos, seeing the art, and nobody was talking about this project. It felt like it flew under the radar. And we got to do the interview with them. And again, we like talking to teams. We like getting to understand what makes them tick. I decided to mint that day. We saw the slow mint happening, but the whole time, I just had this feeling deep down it was one of those slow builders. They had sold about 600 or 700. And then I was in the Kaiju room and somebody dropped the Kokodi link. Yo, check this out. And I started kind of chuckling a bit. Yeah, I told you guys about that earlier in the day, but it was, it was minting a little slow and I told you guys to watch it. And then we were looking and then Gremplin minted a couple. And I was like,
oh, did he really? I didn't even catch that.
Gremplin minted some. We were like, that's pretty. And even then, like, they still weren't moving too fast for the next 15 minutes, but like, all right, another 100 sold, you're like, oh, this seems to be gearing up a little bit. I went back over to Alpha Mint to be like, guys, check Moby. I think this thing is heating up. By the time I had done that, 2,600 had sold. And by the time I got back to Kaiju, it was sold out. I mean, once that Moby starts lighting up and all the alpha rooms around the NFT plex start seeing it, it tends to go pretty fast. That's what happened here. And last I checked, they're sitting at about 2 to 3 times that pre-sale mint and about 75% over what you paid in the public. The gas on this contract was just maniacally efficient. It was optimized to the 9th. I don't even know. I say this a lot recently, but it felt like a Polygon transaction. I'll tell you guys, we have been looking to Ethereum to fix our gas problems, but it looks like shit. The devs did something because all these contracts I have been seeing recently, especially the ones that are careful enough to get it audited, have just been knocking it out of the park with optimization. And Kokodi was part of that group. It was really well optimized, really cool art. They got the game demo. I am excited to see what comes next over the days and weeks here.
Yeah, I mean, I have the game demo up on the screen. It looks really good. There is a playable thing as well that we'll have to maybe check out with the team. I know they want to get on another show or spaces with us, so we'll talk to them about making that happen and provide maybe a little bit more information. But congrats to Bomo, congrats to Melba, congrats to Big Moody. On a job well done. Like Free Market said, the
so
gas
happy
was
for
great.
that team.
Yeah,
so happy for that team.
They're very genuinely nice people, and they put a lot of care into this project. I can tell you that just from talking to them. And they really care. It wasn't, at no point were they ever worried about the price. They wanted to get these NFTs out to people. Good on them. Raid party, not probably, the biggest story of the day, the weekend, et cetera, et cetera. They did migrate their Heroes contract over to a new chain. They're covering all the gas fees if you had to do that. There's 2 separate collections going on here now. There's the Heroes and the Fighters. My tabs have become a mess, so I'm just going to open up a new one. And yeah, so the whitelist sale, allow list sale opened up at it was supposed to be 10 p.m. last night. They were a little bit further behind, but they also formatted in a sense that there was enough of each pack to mint for everybody that was on the allow list. So there was no race to be able to mint the more expensive pack or the least expensive pack. So, I went to bed feeling pretty comfortable. I woke up looking at, a pretty nice little floor here. I minted my my 1 hero and my 2 fighters. And here we are. So the heroes now, the Genesis and the regular heroes are lumped into the same collection. The floor on the standard heroes is 2.5 ETH, which is great. That was 3 this morning. But as we see some more mints go through, you're definitely going to see the flippers take their opportunity. but there's some not encouraging signs as though I ever had any doubt, but it really does look like this thing is going to mint out with no problems at all. The secondary has been moving, the floor is holding above, and I think a lot of that FUD and a lot of that question is probably unironically starting to wash away now that people are seeing the money that they spent going up, right? And it's funny how that works, but yeah, I minted my pack. Did you end up getting yours?
Yes, I did. I stayed up late. I couldn't go to sleep until I minted these. I've been waiting for this project for a very long time. The art speaks to me, which is funny because I never played any of the really Final Fantasy or Maple something, whatever that game was called, stuff that these are inspired by, yet the art really spoke to me. I get, Orcs have really changed me in that sense. This wasn't something that I did when I was younger, but the nostalgia of remembering it and then getting to play it myself has really drawn me in. Raid Party really tickles that for me. I was able to mint mine. I am going to actually get more, and we are looking very forward to constructing the Alpha Mint Guild for Raid Party, which is going to be the second horde conceived within the walls of Alpha Mint, meant to dominate.
I'm so excited that I actually get to participate in this one. I watched you motherfuckers play Orcs and laugh about how amazing it was, and your group chats and horde and blah blah blah, screaming Zug, and I'm finally there. I get to do it.
Yes, and
this is where you say welcome me. I've been waiting.
Welcome to the Alpha Mint Guild. We can't wait to have you in there. We will be starting a private room soon for everybody who has bought Raid Party. We are going to go in there. We're going to start discussing game theory, figuring out our best strategies. So if you are part of that, we will see you in the AM Guild. And shout out to Zark, and shout out to Hassan, and shout out to the whole Raid Party team on one of the most successful raises and launches in NFT history. And we are really, really, really pumped to start playing.
What did you all bid on Raid Party? I missed it. Well, the winning bid was over 5 ETH. Well, I should say the 1,000th place bid was over 5 ETH. I ended up going up to just over 3 ETH, and then gracefully bowed out from there. But I wasn't too upset about it. I mean, if people want to decide that is the case, that and the market prices it that way, then I'm fine with it. I bid at 0.8. Yeah, Rip saying he bid 0.85, thinking he was safe. I actually had the price target between 0.7 and 1 ETH for the 1,000th place bid, and it just started going on an absolute tear. So it's it is what it is. The market decided. I mean, I'm also not salty that I can't buy a Bored Ape. I'm salty that I passed on it at 0.3, but it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, again, like we're gonna do a lot of discussion about strategy, talk about it, and I think Free Market and I were talking about diving a little deeper into the white paper and really kind of figuring this thing out and relaying some information to you guys too.
And I will remind everybody that if you did bid anything in those auctions, you are going to be entered in a raffle.
Yes.
Okay. To get a free fighter or a free hero from 2 separate raffles that they are going to be running. And that is if you bid any amount in there. If you bid over 1.49 ETH, then you are going to receive a free fighter airdropped to your wallet as well. So look out for that if you bid anything or if you bid over 1.5.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have my hero and a couple fighters, but I do think that I'm gonna look at maybe buying a couple of fighters off the floor or something, depending. I don't know. I'm really really looking forward to this though, and I think again like that, to transfer over the success that Orcs had, because it really brought communities together to kind of game theory and play. This having that built-in mechanic, I think is going to be very exciting, and I think it's going to make it very very sticky.
So Rips, we are going to really dive in and do a deep dive on the white paper, and we're actually going to also interview the team. So whether it's worth it to get a hero or fighter to play right now, let us really dig deep, and then we'll tell you how we think the best way to enter the game is right now. Obviously, if you had unlimited money, sure, go buy all the things and hop into the game. If you do not, let us examine it as closely as possible and figure out what the best entry is to maximize returns or to maximize your fun of playing.
Yeah, I mean, the entrance point in Kaiju would have been probably about 6 weeks after launch. Like, if you were really looking for like best efficiency of your dollar value,
for a Kaiju King.
No, sorry, not Kaiju. Orcs. Yeah,
right. So
they went down 0.4 at one point.
Yeah, the lowest they were was 0.4. I think it was in November.
Yes, during that kind of rough bear market, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and Zark actually does tune into the show from time to time. Not sure if he's listening right now, but if you are, what up, Zark? Congratulations. But looking forward to this for a long time, but especially now that it is on the horizon. Yes. All right. Let's do some Q&A type deal. We'll start looking at some projects from the chat. I see BAPE NFT. Is that the oh God, there's a collection that it was wearing the BAPE hoodie, and then somebody mentioned that it was actually a partnership. Season 3. If you want to let us know what you're asking about there, that'd be great. Jonatello asking, can we still get a fighter if we didn't get a hero, and can we be in the AM guild? I believe you could buy a fighter without a hero. I'm not totally sure what the dynamics would be.
I would argue if you just bought the fighter, you'd probably have to be in a guild to play effectively. So I would say yes to that. But again, let us dive deep. And yeah, you can go buy fighters alone right now on the secondary if you wanted to.
And the AM guild, I'm gonna probably go out on a limb and say it'll be for the Moon Lounge pass holders.
Yes.
So if you have that, then sure, you can buy that on the secondary market there. BAPE is making their own NFT. Yeah, okay, I'll look it up because I saw that there was some speculation. There was like a side profile a project where some of them were wearing the BAPE hoodies, and then everyone was like, oh, they're gonna get taken down, like with the copyright and brand infringement. And then they were like, no, it's actually a partnership. I didn't know if that's what you meant, so I'm gonna have to look into it in a second. But if they're making their own separate one, that's pretty cool too. BAPE's a pretty big brand. What else we got here? Oh, I forgot to do the restream link for the Moon Loungers to jump up here. Give me one moment, and I will put that in the AM show chat on Discord. Boom, there you go. Anybody that wants to hop in. Oh, Bapetaverse. Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't heard of it, man. There's so much going on in this space. I'm just trying to keep up. So I will write it down on my list, and maybe it'll be something we could talk about soon. Bapetaverse. Interesting. Cool. Eternal Elves. Yeah, actually, Free Market. Do you want to provide a little bit of a color on this while I go check on something real quick? Did you mint this, or I know Maz interviewed them on Spaces. Maybe you don't have enough color to kind of solo it.
Yeah, Maz interviewed them on Spaces, and I don't know enough about the game except that once I finally saw that pixel art, I was quite compelled. I said, wow, this is actually really good art. I know that they have been working hard on this game for a while, and they've consulted with the Orcs team. So I think that with all that in place, it certainly has a shot. I know they got a little ahead of themselves yesterday, and last time I had looked, we're starting to pull back a bit. But I think it comes down to this gameplay. Is it going to be fun? Is it going to be cool? Does it work with other games? We're going to see if that is the case. I just think I have been so focused on Ether Orcs and now Raid Party, I may not have had time for another game in my life, especially with Cool Pets now bearing down on us. But I have to say the pixel art and the game play that I had at least seen the previews on the website were very, very impressive.
Yeah, Icon saying it's OX Husky who made the initial GUI for Orcs, which is actually pretty impressive because that was a great user interface for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Dope. What's going on with orcs these days? Are we getting to the point where did ogres come out? Is that now a thing?
Ogres are out. I have my first ogre.
Okay, here's where you're rolling solo for a second.
Yeah, no problem. So ogres give you the advantage of building training dummies. Okay, so training dummies allow your orcs or other allies to level up immediately 4 levels. Normally, it takes 3 levels per day is the rate at which your orc can advance if you put him in training. You're always left with a decision. You either leave your orc or your ally training, crafting, or farming. Okay. Now your allies can only craft or train, and your orcs can only excuse me, my brain isn't working right now. But your orcs can only train or farm Zug, right? So these are the decisions you're normally left with. Now, before this next phase started, most people were farming Zug so that they could raid. But the raid dynamics were changed on this most recent phase, which is ogres. And now the most desirable pools to raid require a very high level orc. So some players had taken the hints that the orc team had given that leveling was going to play a very, very important role coming up in the game. If you had started leveling your orc, some of them may be close enough now to be able to target these very high-end raid pools. The two are the Leviathan and the Lava Monster. Now, the Leviathan is the best bang if you're trying to acquire bone shards. Bone shards allow you to mint more of these allies. The cheapest ally is 1.5 ETH. So if you can acquire these bone shards in an economical manner, you're doing very well there. The other high-end raid pool is the Lava Monster. Now you can raid this Lava Monster and the bone shard rewards are about half of what they are at the Leviathan. But you actually need a higher level to raid the Lava Monster. And why is that? Because at the Lava Monster, you can collect lava rocks. If you are lucky enough to bring back a superb outcome and acquire 3 of these lava rocks, you get a very, very rare skin for, I don't know if it applies to all of them. It may just be for your ogre, or it may just be for your, or I don't exactly know how it works, but we know there are certain rarities within the games like albino or like orc god that give a very large premium. Albinos sit at about a 4 to 5 ETH premium, all other things considered equal. And orc gods sit at a very large premium, all other things considered equal. There will be 6 of these lava skins available for orcs to pillage on these raids. And this is the decision you're left with. Do you go for max minting right now, or do you devote your Zug towards this lava rock type of thing? Now, okay, so I just want to shout out Icon, who pointed out to me that only ogres can get this lava rock skin. So there was a example of the picture of the lava rock skin, which looked very cool. I don't have it or the ability to pull it up, but what I was getting to was this is your decision at this point in the game. Do you go max minting for allies, which would be targeting the Leviathan, where you can get the most bone shards, or do you go and target the Lava Monster and try to get the very rare skin for your ogre? Personally, I'm going to try to target the lava skin, as I think that I am owed a very rare orc here by the universe. And while it is a small chance I'm going to get it, because as Animal explained to me last night, I am poor, I can't afford to buy Zug, and I don't have a very large horde of orcs like all the other whales out there, so there's practically no chance to get it. As we know, in business, an Animal are min-max players trying to extract as much profit out of the game as possible, so they're taking their stuff and they are selling it on the open market. And if they are going to play the game, they're going to then buy it back later with this ETH that they are selling it for now. which again works well if you don't spend the ETH on other NFTs in the meantime, which I have a really hard problem doing. So it's much better for me to just go the conservative route where I can't spend my Zug on other NFTs while I wait for my lava rock. So that's the phase we're in. You basically have two decisions if you're deep in this game right now. That would be max minting or going for one of these rare skins. Of course, in the end, you could always just be a humble farmer and sell all your stuff to other players and extract your value that way.
I'm so sad that I missed out on all of this because it sounds like so much fun, and it sounds like so robust, right? Like they continue to just add these layers onto this game and just continue to make it incredible. And if Eternal Elves, which seems to have some crossover in like conceptualization, or like something like Raid Party can capture any of this, I mean, I think they're going to be successful too, because I think people like myself are craving that next iteration of like real innovative on-chain gaming. And I say real, knocking the other ones that we've talked about from time to time. So that's very exciting. I wanted to just take a second to just go over Alpha Mint, the town hall we're having tonight for all of my Alpha Mint Moon Lounge homies. 5 p.m. Eastern.
That was me getting excited.
You want me to put the techno back on? Illidan asked if it was coming up soon. No, it's at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing a town hall for about an hour, hosted by yours truly. We're going to be up there. We're going to be talking about some things we've got going on for Moon Loungers. Kind of the look forward and where we're going, what we're planning on doing. And then, we want to open it up and be a forum for you guys to come and talk about how you're feeling about Alpha Mint, and, at least propose some changes or adjustments that you think we can make. And, we can decide these things as a community. I'm not using community in the corny sense. Alpha Mint is a fucking amazing community, and we want to make sure that everyone is having a great time, having fun, learning, and as well as profiting on the JPEGs, or at least trying to. That's my motto.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be a great time. I hope everyone is there. It will be in Discord. We will record it and have it as a closed link for Moon Lounge members to catch up on if you do miss it. And I have no doubt we'll be writing a recap of it as well. So I look forward to seeing you beautiful degens all there. It's going to be great, and we are going to try and do these regularly as well. We'll talk about that in the town hall. So please come and have a conversation with us. So, yes, it's on the Discord stage. This is delayed. Sorry, I forgot. You got a little bit.
Icon, you forgot Raid Party. You said Ether Orcs, Eternal Elves, and Defenders of Dogewood. I know Raid Party is your favorite. You forgot to list it there.
Cambo saying, imagine saying any of these sentences to yourself 5 years ago. I'm assuming that's about the on-chain gaming. Have you heard of Cool Monkeys? Yes. Have I heard of Cool Monkeys? I have heard of it. I have not bought any or into it. Have you seen Cool Monkeys free market? It was around.
I've seen them around. Yeah, I don't know much about them.
I think they did pretty well. I actually did take the time to pull up Metaverse as was requested. And I mean, I guess there's not actually that much information there, other than Bape, which is Bathing Ape, is coming into NFTs, and they released kind of a teaser trailer. Pull that up on Instagram. Instagram, I guess, is becoming quite a platform for NFTs and getting people into it. Maybe they're starting to just accept the fate and buy in. But I checked here, 31,000 followers on there, and they only have the one post, so pretty incredible. But I actually did notice one thing too, is Justin Bieber posted about his Bored Ape yesterday with some lyrics from the song Lonely. And I gotta say, I was pretty surprised at the positive reaction to it. There were a couple of people like, "Oh man, this is the last straw with you. I'm fucking out." But for the most part, people were like, "Oh, cool." Like, you know what I mean? Like they were maybe the sentiment's shifting a little bit, or
did I call it though?
Maybe it's Bieber's fandom. For some people, this guy can do no wrong. He said
he's tortured inside.
Oh, yes.
Remember, I told you, I gave you this whole long spiel yesterday.
Yeah, well, that was what we were saying. Like, why did he pay 500 ETH for this? Because he wanted that one. It spoke to him, right? But yeah, no, you were spot on for sure. Oh, Beebs. He actually has a house not too far from me, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh yeah, he's Canadian. I forgot.
He is Canadian. Lots of top music artists are Canadian right now.
Also, top Bill Murrays. Most of the Bill Murrays I know are Canadian.
Most of the Bill Murrays? Do you know more that aren't?
No.
I actually forgot Bill Murray, dude.
You know what this week is?
The first week of February.
Groundhog Day.
Is it?
Is it?
I don't know.
Oh no, was that earlier?
I have no idea. I need to do research on this stuff. What is Groundhog Day?
No, you don't know what Groundhog Day is?
I know what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, someone said it was Groundhog Day this week, and I just realized it's either really Groundhog Day or they were just using the expression, like everything seems the same. So I realize now that I said it, I may be wrong. Not financial advice. It may not be Groundhog Day. Don't bet on that if there's a line on that at your local casino. NFA.
That's the betting line. Is it or is it not Groundhog Day?
This is a very simple casino. This isn't one of those high-end Vegas casinos you go to.
It sounds like they're going bust real quick. I hope the odds are shit on that for sure. Yeah. Okay. So Cool Monkeys. Somebody asked about too. I'm gonna try and dig that up real quick. You know what?
They were that cool. We'd know about them.
No. They're on a 0.8 floor. They're definitely cool to somebody. I gotta say, it really is. It really does speak volumes about OpenSea that it is easier to find official OpenSea collections on Google than it is to actually just use their own native search bar. Yeah, Cool Monkeys. This is the project that I thought it was. I don't actually have a lot of context on it other than like I guess there's a snot booger coming out of this guy's nose. Yeah, I mean the art is pretty good. It's traded 6,000 ETH in volume and sitting at a 0.8 floor. So if you got in on that as a flip, congratulations. If you want to provide a little bit more context about why you are or aren't bullish on this project, by all means shoot a message and provide some context there. But it looks like it minted about 2 weeks ago. I can't believe that's already been 2 weeks. It's crazy. Actually, there's a couple projects that I looked at and I was like, fuck me, that was 20 days ago. Crazy. Like Lemon Friends, like that was almost 2 months ago.
Bring up the Kaiju I just sent you in the DMs on your magic internet machine.
Slid into the DMs with the Kaiju. Okay. Let's pull it up. This is a Kaiju. Yes, I see it.
Fucking thing. He's got the sushi headband thing, and he's high. Whoever got this, I want your Kaiju.
Is this a Genesis one?
That was it. That was the analysis. Yep.
That was it. That was the breakdown.
That was the breakdown. Look at how dope this Kaiju is. He's blazed. He makes sushi. This is an awesome Kaiju. Kaiju appreciation hour.
I mean, it's cool. It's not. I
oh my god! Come on, come on.
I don't know. There's some dope Kaijus on.
Kaiju's to 30 ETH.
Maybe.
Babies to 10.
I've never once fudded the Kaijus.
No, you haven't. I didn't say you did. But you're not participating in my Kaiju appreciation day.
Did you see this Kaiju? Oh my god, this is like the.
There we go.
God,
look at it.
What a grail.
Oh, it is a good.
Did you just buy this Kaiju? Is this your Doc's wallet? You just listed it for 7 years. Being like, look at this pretty boy here. Oh my god. Yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy if this sold for 10 ETH? That would still be
a grail. You're right. Now that you mention it. The floor on the Kaiju.
I love your Kaiju. Those glasses in that hoodie are fucking.
You know what the floor on these are?
No.
A healthy 9 ETH right now. You moved at 7 and 8 the other day, and we're up to 9 on this trade. That Tokyo night background, 'tis a rare. Do you know what I paid for this in December?
No.
1.6 ETH. And
you bought that one? I thought that was.
I bought this one. The one I minted is my plain boy. I love him, but he was a plain boy, and I always wanted like Viper glasses with a background. So when I saw this guy.
was really my only gripe about this project was that some of the plain ones like kind of meshed in together, but they do. I mean, they're great.
Honestly, I almost like the floor babies better. The babies are so good, and people always ask me which one they should buy right now. And that baby gets you in the Kaiju Alpha room. So
yes.
I love the babies. I think that the art. I mean, look at that one with the wizard hat. It's so good with the green and the red and the wizard hat. I love these. Oh, and the orange hoodies too. One of the most desirable traits in the collection. But yeah, I can't ooh these things enough, and these are gonna rock it.
You know what? We didn't even mention that happened yesterday.
What's that?
It was Moon Monday, baby.
Woo! Moon Monday.
How did we not even get there? That's how busy this this schedule has been and how packed it's been. Moon Monday. Congratulations to the 10 pretty Star Wolves that have just ascended. Shout out to Charlie finally getting his hexagon profile picture of the wolf that he has been rocking forever. But patience is a virtue, isn't it?
Patiently waiting. And I saw some maniac undercut the floor by 20 ETH. I don't know what they were thinking, but we will find you. And we have a very particular set of skills.
No, don't.
I'm just
kidding. Yeah, I know you.
We love you. I mean, I actually know who it is. Big Cloud.
Yeah. Hey, look, if that's money that would make a difference in your life or whatever, like kudos to you. I wouldn't. Yeah, don't begrudge anyone for doing what they need to do in this space. But yeah, we got a bunch of these out. I gotta remember how to find recently created. So the last 10 that we had up here. This good looking.
Look at that. Of the neon ears. Oh baby.
The neon ears.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah, honestly, this Charlie like just recently made this glitch one, and I was like, so good. You don't see a lot of glitch in pixel art. That's dope. But yeah, we're super excited for people to get their hands on this. And if you're in the Star Wolves Discord, there's a little bit of a teaser on what's going down next Moon Monday, and I think it's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna get mine. I'm finally gonna get mine. Woo! I'm very excited. You shall ascend. So I can't get the hexagon profile picture, and I know that you're about to unfollow me, but I will accept my fate.
I'm giving everyone a certain amount. I understand that many people have to now ditch their Android phones, which takes a little bit of time, and I will give everyone a little more time than I first said. If you still have a circle in your Twitter profile, I will continue to follow you a little longer. But, Apple Store isn't closed. It's open, pandemic and all. It's waiting for you.
Yeah, you know what? I've been tempted. I have been. But I know in my heart of hearts I'm probably going to end up getting another Android Galaxy. It's hard, right? Like you get all these apps, you integrate all these systems, you use the widgets and yada, yada, yada.
I didn't know if it was the same way on Android, if it's sticky.
Yeah, it is. There's, you spend money on these apps. They don't cross over. Well, I guess some accounts
and messy.
Probably
Who do you call if there's something wrong with your phone?
This might come as a shock to you, but I've never actually had a problem with my phone. Just putting it out there.
If people could see, I'm squinting like Larry David right now.
Well, I don't doubt that people have had problems with their phone. I just personally have not. Josh, keep rugging yourself, or are you just logging in and out to try and get our attention? I'm here, guys. I'm here.
That doesn't sound like you, Josh. Oh.
Hey, guys. Sorry, I'm having some audio issues. Let me switch over to something else. I'll move over to my laptop real quick. Be right back.
Did you see that Kaiju? Oh, he left.
Note 20 for the win. Actually, yeah, Kyle. I have been considering getting a Note. It's like the very large version of my phone, and now that I don't need to carry it around everywhere, might look into that. Good. I'm due for a new phone in about a month, and I'm greatly looking forward to it.
iPhone 13 Pro Max.
Yeah. Do you just get a new iPhone every time one comes out?
Yeah. Well, because you're on the thing. You just have to hand it in every year, and they give you a new one for free. It's just a subscription service.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Like you pay, I don't know what it is, $40 a month or something like that. And then every September, I just give them my old one and they give me a new one. I pay like $90 to change it over.
All right.
And Apple is getting $40 a month from me for the rest of my life. It's already been decided. And the deal, it's like Netflix. Everything's moving to a subscription model, right? Why would you outright buy a phone, a depreciating asset, when you can just sign up for this rental and get a new one every September? I'm not saying.
I was going to say that my phone company typically gives them to me for free, but
yes,
you pay for it
in the subscription. Right?
Canadian fucking cell phone contracts are literally the worst. Like there's 3 cell phone companies. They have a monopoly. They all sit in the same goddamn room with their expensive cigars and their $20,000 bottle of scotch, and they say, "How the fuck can we fuck over these people more?" Like,
it is the one thing all Canadians agree on.
Oh, it is, yeah, for sure. Like
Rogers, isn't that one of them?
Rogers, Bell, and Telus. Yes. Actually, I'm not on their internet, so I was gonna say I'm probably just gonna get cut off right now for watching. But it's a goddamn racket. We have anti-monopoly ideas in place, but it doesn't exist. They have such a huge moat. Nobody can compete with them, and it's a joke. I hate it. Never ask Rogers for help. I will actually say Vintage Extras. Rogers has actually been pretty good to me, but I do consider them the lesser of 3 evils, but I'm sure most people feel the same way about all of them. So you just kind of got to deal with it. It's shit. Josh, what's going on, man?
Hey, Jim, guys. It's so funny. I have the same persistent audio issue. I join and your guys' voice is at 0.25x speed. So really deep and slow. And it's always fun when I first sign in, but I have to switch over.
That's just me at the end of the show getting drunk throughout it. And I just started.
That's the natural progression of the Alpha Mint morning show.
Yeah. Why not? No, I actually do drink coffee. I save the beer for later.
Coffee's the way. I'm drinking some delicious coffee.
Josh, you coming to the town hall?
Yeah, I think so. What time is it again?
5 Eastern.
Yeah, 5 Eastern. Okay, so
yeah.
2. Yeah, I'll probably pop on, listen in a little bit, see what's up. Been loving watching the all of the passes sell out so quickly, and been telling a few folks about it too that are looking for good alpha groups, and I see nothing but good things for Alpha Mint, man. It's been so cool to watch.
Yeah, it's been a ride. Honestly, like one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life to come and be a part of this.
We love the art.
Yeah. Oh, so love the show today. Lots of cool stuff happening in minting, and Cool Pets is going to be wild. I do hope it dips just purely for selfish reasons.
I personally, I think it will. I don't know how low. I don't think it's going to be low, but yeah.
Yeah, for it to get low enough that I could have an entry point, it would have to go pretty low. So we'll see. Oh man. Yeah, I guess the question I always have kind of every show, and this might be a cool segment, is the kind of like the pre-sale whitelist. What's coming up that people have a chance of getting into or still could work towards getting in on? This is something I'm struggling with right now. Like, there's all these great things coming, but the boat's kind of sailed off already for the opportunities to get allow listed on a lot of this stuff. So just wondering if you guys have anything you're looking at, anything you're excited about, and yeah.
All right.
I think that I know what free market might say here, but I would just star catchers.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start rattling them off right here. Okay. The ones that I am looking forward to most, whose allow lists are still open, would be number 1 for me, of course, star catchers, as R2 has said. There is another waifu-esque project called Ririsu that is becoming very popular right now that is still whitelisting. There is Wonder Pals and Tasty Bones, both difficult.
Tasty Bones, yeah.
Yep, both difficult, still whitelisting. Ethereal, difficult, but it's actually very early there, maybe a little easier than the rest. Clementine's Nightmare. And everything I'm listing right now, I will drop the Discord links in the latest drops area of the generals so that anybody who's listening can have access to them. Star Wolves, of course, where there are still allow list spots that are open. And right now, I think and then Enjoyors, which the mint is coming up soon, but they are still sneaking. Now, this is a treasure ecosystem magic play.
Do we have more context on that?
We don't yet. We're actually going to get Traveler on the show really soon now, since we're getting close to mint, to come on and talk about not just Enjoyers, but the entire treasure ecosystem. There is Pixelverse, okay? They are giving away Whitelist in a lot of raffles right now. So around different groups that you may be in, keep an eye out on Twitter. This is Sappy Seal's next project.
God, yeah,
that I believe they are still. And then finally, I will say Chain Scouts, which is again a private Discord, a P2E. I love the art. They're very hype, yet there's only 3,000 people in the Discord because it's private. Turn notifications on their Twitter and try to get in that one. All of these projects have open whitelists. I will put them there, and I am very excited about all these ones I just mentioned.
Love it. So one other, I think, a follow-up I feel like I always wish I'd asked with these types of questions is I feel like we've got two kind of categories of whitelist projects out there. Ones that are doing giveaways, which are like, they'll do a raffle. Your odds of getting in are pretty slim because you've got, 50,000 people all going after, 20 spots at a time. But then you also have these smaller projects. Maybe they don't have a huge Discord yet. Maybe they don't have a huge community yet necessarily. There's still a chance to get in through means other than just randomly winning a raffle. Anything in that latter category you can think of off the top of your head? Because I think, at least for me and a lot of the Alpha Mint folks, that's the stuff we can kind of thrive in, since we know the space, we can do cool shit, we can, get noticed, come up with a great meme, whatever, and have a chance of getting in that way.
Well, I know it's a closed Discord, but Star Catchers, they accept fan art for sure. And I know this one is intimidating and seems like you're just screaming into the ether, but also Invisible Friends does reward community members who are making community art or contributing to the community in some way. It is the same with Wonder Pals as well. Those are the three that jump to the top of my head who are awarding spots, not just in a random manner, but also for people who are both contributing derivatives and fan art and who are helping out within their communities. I know it's cliche and time consuming, but being a very helpful member in the general of some of these Discords where, people hop in and ask new questions and ask the same question over and over again all day, right? But if you can take some of the load off the mods and admins and answer those questions, and you do that for a few days, you start to get noticed. I mean, I could tell you specifically in the Star Catchers Discords, I know people who were star listed based just on that action. So, and this is going to be a shameless plug here, but I actually think it's also real alpha because you're seeing now the rise of the alpha group, right? More and more, these allow list spots that were normally going out in out for either engagement or contributions or things like that are actually being allocated to different alpha groups and different NFT communities. And that's because these projects know that's where the customers are. That's where the people who are likely to buy this and buy it enthusiastically are. So it's a way that not only do you create an initial customer base and people talking about your product, but you reward your colleagues and your friends and the exact same people who, if this is WGMI, that's the whole point. So that is also my biggest tip to people is get into an alpha group. And whether that means buying the NFT of a project that gets you in that alpha room or buying the Alpha Mint pass, it's only going to become more pronounced going forward that this is where the majority of allow list spots go.
I see that. I see that trend starting to pick up too. It seems like far more allow list spots going out to all of the different alpha groups or to other active communities out there.
Yeah, I mean, as the ecosystem starts to widen out and flatten out, and people kind of like stake their claim, and within these alpha groups and whatnot, you're definitely gonna see a lot of those get passed around, right? Especially, one of the thesis that free market has, and I completely agree with it, is that 10K projects are gonna seem small eventually. We're gonna see 20, 50K projects. You're gonna see 100K project eventually. That means that there's going to be a lot of allow spots to give away, and it's going to scale up with the size of the NFT community as a whole. And you're going to see big distributions of them, not only going just to the general public, but to these alpha and alpha communities or other NFT communities that are known for really getting behind projects they think are quality and helping them get past the finish line and participating, right?
Yeah, love it.
A CloneX just sold 1 minute ago for 450 ETH.
Wow, that's got to be the biggest one ever, right?
That is a record.
What a market! 450 ETH for a CloneX, incredible.
20K collection, guys. 20K
collection. Rug Radio is hitting a floor of 1.2 ETH. The Scarce 2 floor is at 1.8 ETH, and this is wild. It has just gone absolutely crazy. Let me pull up CloneX real quick here for you, and let's take a look at what just sold here. I also just brought Cass up on stage with us. So GM Cass.
Shout out to Tropics. Welcome to the show.
Oh, taking off the Discord. Yeah, now my phone's going off. Hi guys, can you hear me?
How you doing?
GM.
Hey, Jim.
GM, how are you?
Doing good, Cass. Doing good. I'm stoked we're finally up on stage at the same time.
Do you know what? Now all we have to do is just get rid of R2 Degen and free market, and then we can call it the
We're taking
We'll take the rest of the day off. Take it away, guys.
Yeah. We'll just leave you up there. Tropics is in the house too.
No, I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. No, it was weird. Were you not in Star Wars last night?
What's that?
I was in there briefly. I did not actually catch the raffle. I was off.
Yeah, I missed it too. Sadly,
I didn't even know there was a raffle. No, it was more the track of the intermission.
Mm-hmm.
That was just so. Oh my god! It kind of hit a chord. Like, I had to rewind it 3 times and go, oh my god, this is...
Oh, the promo video that he put out.
Yeah, the track on it was like, wow. And then it kind of made me think, I don't know, once when you smoke a little bit, you kind of start thinking about things, isn't it? And I don't know, it kind of brought me back to like the first time I met people and how everything was when, back in November. I love you. You know that, FM. You know.
You said it. You said the thing.
It's the thing, isn't it? Like it's all. But then this is the thing. It's always been like this, And from a side note, I am very proud of you guys. How, I mean, even today when we saw the graphics. Like, you weren't doing that shit fucking 3 months ago. Like, but you've done so well with it. And you're doing really good. And both of you should be proud of yourselves, man. Your talks.
Thank you, sir. We are putting a lot into the production value of the show. We care about it. It's the most fun R2 and I have during our day, and we appreciate you recognizing it.
Yeah, I honestly, Cass, I always appreciate the kind words. I mean, free market and I do things that we love. We talk about things that we love, and it's as it turns out a very rewarding way to live your life, including listening to you guys come up here and shoot the shit with us too. And it does mean a lot, and it's we do this. I don't want to say it's hard to talk about stuff every day for 2 hours because there's so much going on and there's lots of content. But I will say it makes it very easy to get up in the morning, start preparing for the show. and doing that, and then even doing all the Star Wars stuff on top of it and Alphabet, like it's all so fun and rewarding that it doesn't. I feel like I haven't worked in 3 months, and if you ask my wife, she'll say I haven't.
I think that's everyone's wife at the moment. Any wife that's a part of NFTs, they're saying the same thing. So don't worry.
No, it's okay. I say that completely tongue in cheek. I mean, she's she's happy too. Well, hey, I mean, for anybody that's worked in the restaurant industry for any amount of time, is you're never fucking around, especially if your counterpart is not in that industry, right? It's if you love it, it's great, and I loved it for a long time. And but no, I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm here.
So, are you a chef?
Not like classically trained or anything, but I did work in and run kitchens for quite some time. I have experience in designing and executing menus and stuff like that, and I've opened restaurants as the general manager and stuff as well. So yeah, I've been through it all.
Sick. One question I was going to ask, and ask Josh as well, his thoughts and opinions as well on it. The town hall thing.
Yeah, the Alphabet Town Hall. Yep.
Just I might be completely wrong in saying this, but it feels like every single NFT has got a town hall whenever I go into. So it's like Lemons has got a town hall, Chibi Apes has got a town hall, Cool Cats have got a town hall, and because we're so unique and different and fucking shit hot, couldn't we really turn around and maybe a different name for it?
You can suggest it at the town hall.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
For me, it would be the Weed Hut.
What do you want to call it? Like, cocktail hour with Cobain and the Alphabet crew.
Bro,
hotboxing with the team.
Hotboxing with the boys.
Hey, that's the one. I think we got it. The hot box.
The hot box. Yeah. No, I don't know. I guess the town hall is that one word that kind of lets everyone know what it's about, right? I guess it's self-explanatory. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. The town hall is maybe getting a little bit overused. State of the alpha.
Murakami 5 drips. In other words, they have 5 Murakami traits. That floor is now over 1,000 ETH after this latest 450 ETH buy. I also wanted to shout out and say happy birthday to Takashi Murakami. It is his birthday today, and he sold a $1.2 million piece of art on his birthday. So congratulations to you, sir.
I wonder what kind of cut he gets of the royalties on that.
No, I'm sure.
Not that it's any of my business, but
no. Oh, I'm sure it's quite the deal that he has with Artifact. I bet he gets a real juicy portion of those royalties. And boy, does that collection make some royalties?
Yeah. What is this collection actually at? I know the vials were at 10%. Is this 5? 7.5?
I thought it was 5. It's 5 plus the 2.5.
Yeah,
with 7.5 total. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's check. I think you're right. Hey, what is that in ETH? What is that in dollar terms? It's got to be about 1.25 mil.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Quick math.
Jonatello, we talked about it earlier in the show. I did claim my flies. I doubled down. I added 3 more times, and anytime it's under $3, I'm going to keep adding when I have extra ETH to throw at it. Bullish is an understatement.
5% is their royalties. Yeah, that's awesome. 5,000 ETH they've made on the secondary with this. Crazy.
Right, Ella? I'm glad you asked. Yes, we've given away many Alpha Min passes on both Spaces and here on this show. And I've given one away on the Morning Squeeze in the Lemon Spaces. So it does happen from time to time. We have nothing announced yet, but please do stay tuned, Ella, because yes, it does happen.
Can I ask, does any of you guys know, apart from the whole Bored Ape interview, why Rug Radio is still pumping?
Sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just going to say
tokenomics coming up.
Yeah, there's some bonuses for I think stacking a bunch of them. I'm not really totally clear on it. I unfortunately sold mine. Oops. But if I had to guess, at the core of it, it is a bet on Farouk and his ability to kind of leverage his personality, his following, and you know, what I would say is his long-term track record of success as, you know, some form of influencer on Instagram, Twitter, now NFTs, all of that stuff. Yeah, I would probably just say that if there's a handful of people that will continue to be mainstays in this space long-term, he would probably end up being one of a few. If I got that right, I don't know. Free market, what do you think?
Being one of a few. What now? Sorry, I zoned out for a second.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, you know, on the bet on Rug Radio would be that, you know, Farouk is probably destined for a bit of a longer track record of success in NFTs.
Oh no, that's the fundamentals. Yeah, fundamental and intrinsic value here is Farouk is very good at what he does and is going to build a decentralized media empire. This most recent pump has to do with the specific tokenomics that I'm not 100% privy to. There's a very large initial airdrop, and then after that, each one earns a very similar amount of tokens. I think the commons earn 5 and the rares earn 7. But if you stack a certain number before the big airdrop, then it will. There's a big benefit to it. So that's why you're seeing this short-term pump. Fundamentals I believe in. As far as
I was wondering too about the rugs themselves versus the membership token, because the membership token has not pumped as much as that Genesis rug that they
released to everyone. The membership token was how you minted the rugs, right? And I don't know. I know that they've hinted that they'll play some form of role in the ecosystem, but I don't think it's the primary one. So I don't think that that's why you're seeing it follow. I bet you'll see if there's some membership tokens that haven't been claimed yet. I don't know if you can claim them anymore, actually, but no, there was a cap on that, wasn't there?
I think there was, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yes, that's right. I do remember that go down. Yeah.
Okay,
but those Rug Radio passes are great. He has regular giveaways in that Rug Radio Discord. I mean, I think there's a lot going for these things, so I'm very bullish on it.
Well, another thing which really kind of, you know, to stand yourself apart as a media company within the NFT space, to be able to pull an interview with the devs or the founders of Bored Ape Yacht Club. I thought that was impressive as a first interview, so to say, with.
And that was probably an interview that he had no problem getting.
Exactly. He probably knew them, like, oh, I'm just going to do an interview with you, dude. Yeah, no problem, fam. Like, we'll do that. So, yeah, and I think it was the shock of that. It wasn't even like he had to work hard for it. He just put it out there as if, like, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I mean, hey, eventually just stuff comes to you, right? Like, that's it's kind of the name of the game. So, all right, gentlemen, how are we feeling? Free market, you want to touch on anything else before we start to wrap this up? Oh, Cass, was there anything else that you wanted to say? I apologize.
In regards of what?
No. I know you mentioned like the Star Wars and the show and all of that stuff. I just didn't know if there was. I didn't know if I was cutting you off before you.
Did you have any other questions for us this morning, Cass? Or are you good?
I think I'm good. I think I need to go see my DM and follow FMC's route for the GM time, really. Although it's not GM in the UK, but it is GM because I live on Eastern time now. So yeah.
Boom.
It's always GM in the metaverse.
It is always GM.
Why isn't that line catching on? I keep saying it in spaces, and I expect like all the hundreds to go up in there, and then the people start tweeting it and chanting it, and then everyone's like, okay, and then they just move on. I'm like, is this line less brilliant than I thought it was? What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. You're ahead of your time, maybe.
I was.
Well, let's
Good
just let
morning,
you take
future.
credit for GM.
Thank you.
You can have
People
it.
don't even know. I won't even tell. Every NFT influencer you've ever known was on that fucking thing. They all saw it. They were there.
So anyways, Josh, Cass, thank you so much for coming up. I'm going to start winding down the show, but you guys have a great day, all right?
So anyway,
You guys too. Happy to be here. Cass, love being on stage with you, man. You bring great energy to this call every day. You guys have a good one.
Love, Josh, you're the same dude, man, and everyone, and just happy-go-lucky, and let's get high.
tune in to Cass and
I just
Josh
cut him off in
later
the
at
middle of his
11
laugh. I'm sorry,
a.m.
Cass.
Right.
Yeah, we're just gonna let them go for it. I'll just leave the stream up and they can just hang out for a while. Yeah. So, anything else you wanted to touch on before we wrap this up, free market?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
I think that, yeah, that was a good one. A lot of stuff going on, and there's going to be more to talk about throughout the week as we watch Cool Pets and Raid Party go down. We talked a lot about. Oh God, I got to pull this up again. We talked about, if you missed it earlier in the show, we talked about the crypto prices, Bored Apes, where that's going. God, Kanye West not doing an NFT. We talked about CloneX versus Azuki, maybe racing to 20 ETH. Floor Star Catchers, we did an interview with them last night. It was amazing. Boss Beauties is mooning. Cool Pets, Raid Party, Gossape Girl is killing it. Kokodi minted out. Tons and tons and tons of stuff. So this is all going to be recorded for your viewing pleasure if you missed anything on YouTube and Spotify, of course. Yeah, if you're in Alpha Mint and you're a Moon Lounger, make sure you come to the Discord stage at 5 p.m. today. We are going to be talking about Alpha Mint in our town hall. It's going to be very exciting. And yeah, free market. Why don't you take us out of here?
Good luck at the tables, degens.